I'm very, very proud of Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan just inked a deal, $100 million deal. It's reported to be a $100 million deal to put all of what Joe Rogan does, including his library, over to Spotify, which I think is absolutely brilliant on Spotify's behalf.
Of course.
You're talking about arguably the most influential guy in media right now. As Howard, no disrespect to my great friend Howard Stern, but Howard's on, probably the last contract or two. Howard may only have 2-3 years left in him with radio. He's just probably pretty much over it. If not, later this year.
He still acts like he's in the dark about podcasting too. I'm sure he's absolutely not, but on the air, he still acts like he doesn't know what it is, and he's surprised that people make so much money off him.
Yeah, I mean, that's Howard's shtick. All of that. That's Howard's shtick. If anybody's got any traction to downplay it, because he is the king. But I'm going to be honest with you. I think Joe is the new king. I mean, I'm not trying to say that in adversarial. People call Howard up and say that Bubba said that no, I'm not doing that at all. But if I'm going to be an honest broadcaster with the way the business is going and delivery mechanism and audience, and Joe Rogan's that guy. Howard's still probably guy 1A. But, Joe has taken it to a whole nother level. I'm so proud of Joe. I think this is a great precedent. A lot of radio personalities might be jealous of this. I couldn't think that this could be any better for potential content providers. Is
this like a Jordan LeBron thing? Because, Howard was kind of ahead of his time, obviously first paved the way, but Rogan was I don't know if he was first at podcasting, but he's been at it for a long time, established, and now he's obviously the biggest in the game. So, they both are trailblazers, I think.
I think it would be kind of more of a Wayne Gretzky versus Howard kind of, not Wayne Gretzky versus Michael Jordan kind of deal. Wayne Gretzky was the the greatest of all time in hockey. And Michael Jordan probably is the greatest of all time in basketball. And Larry is Michael Jordan. I'm sorry. And Howard's Michael Jordan. And Joe Rogan's is Gretzky. Is Gretzky. I don't know.
So you're saying that Howard has yellow eyes? That's not.
No, Howard's not black with yellow eyes.
Oh.
But Howard is 6'7".
Yeah.
But I think they're both just. Howard's on the end of the end of his career, and Joe is probably in the middle, but has blazed some all new territory or real estate and niched out pretty much him and Adam Carolla are pretty much.
Carolla was more of a podcaster. Like what Joe does, they call it a podcast, but it's like a video show.
Yeah, Joe's
not a real podcast.
He's media.
Yeah.
And and so
he got started because he used to watch Anthony Cumia do it in his basement, and said, "Hey, if Anthony can do it, I can get something to get going too."
Oh, he's just been so brilliant, and he is very smart, very great interviewer. I find myself trying to find Joe Rogan stuff a couple times a week, and obviously that's what a lot of people do because Spotify is willing to step up for the exclusivity. I love it. I absolutely love it. Kudos to you, Joe. I've had you on a few times, and I just most recently had Dana on a couple Fridays, and I specifically told Dana, tell Joe, and this was even before the Spotify deal, tell Joe, man, he's the man.
Now, do you think, so Joe said that his podcast will be free on Spotify. Do you think that it'll all be free? Do you think the video will be paid for?
I think in my opinion, and you probably know this world better than I do, but I think it'll be like if you want to subscribe and you don't have commercials or pre-rolls in it, and if not, it's free.
That's I pay
including the video.
Maybe the day of video or as it's happening video, something like that within a certain. But
kind of like what we do on Twitch in a way.
Yeah,
really.
And you free, and then if you want to go watch, Joe Rogan from if you want to go watch Joe's, three Thursdays ago show, well, you need to be a subscriber.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen.
The good thing about this, and I've known about Spotify, and you guys probably have too for a while, Spotify's really into developing their own original programming. So obviously signing Joe Rogan is a big deal, but they are spending a lot of money to bring in, old radio talent or whatever and try to develop some podcasting. They're actually one of the companies that believes in talent and spending money right now.
Can we get a hold of Spotify immediately?
You should,
all you got to do, Spotify, is watch today's show and realize that I own my entire library, that anything that I have, I own. I own. In fact, Blitz, you'll testify that when I was cutting my Sirius XM deal and I asked who owned my library and Tom Bean told them us, they fell over.
They didn't believe you.
No, they didn't. They're like, there's no way. And Tom Bean's like, well, I got the hard drives right here of everything we've done. And the good news for you, Sirius XM, is you can lease it like everybody else does, but you're not going to have it either. Anything we produce on your airwaves, we own. And they didn't like that. But needless to say, I own everything.
Yep.
I'm one of the very few. Let me ask you a question, Seth. Like over at KROQ or other radio personalities that you've dealt with, do they own their shows? No, for real.
No.
They don't.
I can't speak.
Like Drew and Cowhead, like do they?
Drew doesn't know. I don't know about Calta. I can't imagine Calta owns his early stuff. Maybe he's cut deals later on, but no.
But for the most part, like people don't own their stuff, do they?
No, not at all. Nobody even thinks about that.
Yeah, well, I might be. In fact, Blitz, didn't Howard have to go? I know this for a fact.
Yes.
He had to go back after he started Sirius XM and cut a deal with CBS in order to buy it.
Yep.
I remember Howard, one of the first times I was talking to him, he's like, so how much did you have to pay Clear Channel to get your stuff? And I go, nothing. I own it. That's the deal that He's like, whoa, Don's currently talking to CBS to try to get my stuff. We need to get a hold of Spotify. Say, listen, we're not Joe Rogan. We are a dingleberry on Joe Rogan, but everybody needs a dingleberry.
If Joe Rogan's getting $100 million, we'll take at least $100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, Joe Rogan can be the shaft. We just want to be a testicle. The testicle doesn't get a lot of glory. Like no girl looks at you and said, "Oh my God."
I'm willing to bet that Joe Rogan's more of the bulbous end.
No, I think Joe is pretty much everything except a few little testes, and I just want.
That's what I'm saying though. Like the
I just want to be the anus.
Oh goodness!
Wow.
Oh, God.
Joe can be the whole body.
Oh boy!
Just make me your ass.
Okay.
Joe, you can have from the top of your head. This whole Spotify world can be all of yours. Just make me your butt hole. That's it. And I'll be able to make me a good living being Joe Rogan's butthole. I mean, we made a good living being Howard Stern's butthole, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
What a dream.
Hey, Seth, I heard you're working for this new channel called Joe Rogan's Butthole.
Yeah, it's all I've ever wanted and more. I just got to update my LinkedIn, and then it's official.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
But I heard being Joe Rogan's Butthole paid like 5 times more than
Joe
being
Rogan's
Bubba's
butthole
bitch.
just cheered 1,000 bits.
It's better than being Bubba's co-host. Joe Rogan's Butthole is better than being Bubba the Love Sponge's co-host.
Well, that's up for debate. I'm a fan of both.
We need to talk to Spotify. Because you're gonna, Joe
You
Rogan.
should. They're investing. I mean, this is new. I mean, they got the Joe Budden podcast. They're huge into podcasting.
Hey, Blitz, let me ask you a question. Should I somehow get a hold of Joe and say, Joe? And by the way, Joe was a big fan of Howard's Howard 101 when Howard first started in 06.
Mm-hmm.
Joe was on my show a lot. He listened, to Opie and Anthony and us and a bunch. Joe's been kind of a talk show guy.
Oh, definitely.
And I wonder if Joe wants to diversify a little bit and have other people under his umbrella like Howard did. Or, I certainly understand that if he doesn't. If he he doesn't need anybody. Frankly, he doesn't need anybody else. But do you want to umbrella out and will you let me be your butthole? Hi, Seth, can I go on record by saying if Joe wants to umbrella out a little bit, I'd like to be the butthole?
That would look good on your LinkedIn profile.
Yeah.
On the Joe Rogan Spotify channel, even if you're the butthole, you don't put that you're the butthole. You put that you are on Joe Rogan's channel.
Yeah, like the chief butthole.
Doesn't matter. Just says you don't say that you're the butthole. Hey, I am currently the afternoon drive guy on the Joe Rogan Experience Spotify. Do a 4-hour show there. under the Joe Rogan Experience deal. Don't mind that.
I like you already penciled yourself in for afternoons.
Listen, Joe, I'll do overnights, kid. You tell me what you want me to do.
Be like the Art Bell show.
I'll sharpen your arrows and fluff up your guide feathers. What do you need me to do, kid? Huh?
Is the band breaking up if you become Joe Rogan's fluffer? Because I feel like that's probably just a one-man job.
No, Joe.
You probably don't need the whole crew to fluff him.
Would you shut up? I need my whole crew to be able to create this program, which is going to be part of the butthole.
On the overnights?
Yes. The quality of program doesn't. I don't fire everybody because I'm only doing overnights.
I don't want to be Joe Rogan's butthole at night overnights, man.
If you're making 2 or 3 times what you're making now?
Yeah. If you made 3 times what you made right now salary without having a flim-flam, a shower show with a high-low deal, you know you'd be the overnight Joe Rogan.
Overnights sound a lot better now, don't they?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Whatever. See you later. Leave the strap at the door, kid. I'm done with your stuff, too. I don't need anybody.
You asked me if I
Let's
want to
get
get...
Dan back.
Can I be
Dan,
your
come
fre-
back.
can I be
Dan,
your
you're fired
freckle?
as of
Bubba's
today.
already penciled himself in for this job, so it better happen.
Yeah, that's true. I felt like I was really faced with this decision.
Listen, I have another caveat to the Joe Rogan yippee-yo, and that is, one, Joe Rogan, congratulations. Like,
Absolutely.
seriously, buddy. Really? Couldn't be any more proud of you.
So
And secondly, I'd love to be your butthole. Thirdly, KROQ, one of the most legendary radio stations in America, in L.A. Intercom, owned by Intercom most recently, but if you're a radio guy, you're familiar with KROQ. It's the alternative rock-ish feeling heritage radio station in L.A. Kevin Weatherly was the longtime program director.
Yeah, you know where he went?
No.
Spotify.
Yeah, exactly. Kevin Weatherly. Hire us to be Joe Rogan's butthole. And, they had Kevin and Bean for the longest time as their legendary morning show. Kevin and Bean then broke up, and then Kevin did his own deal. And they tried to hang on to that franchise, and they most recently blew that up, and everybody's flipped out. And the headlines today said, it's the end of the world. It's the end of the world-famous KROQ as we know it, and the iconic Los Angeles station is on life support, and it has nothing to do with the coronavirus. Here's what I'm saying. KROQ. I don't know of another person, radio personality, or show that you could put into Los Angeles that would be competitive with all the Woody. Don't bust me up with the Woody show. Some rehashed, retreaded guy from St. Louis. Like, that's the worst. There are no legendary radio personalities that have a brand, that are controversial, and that people in L.A. can Google and find out stuff about. You need my program. This radio show would be the only thing that could save KROQ. And the radio industry is too bullheaded to give me that chance. For some reason.
You good with Intercom?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know Pat Paxson. I don't know. I've never worked for Intercom. BJ.
Wasn't it CBS anyway?
It's the old CB. It's the
Yeah, yeah.
CBS,
Okay,
refold. And Pat Paxson is a longtime programmer, very brilliant guy. I've never
related
worked
to
for
Bud?
Pat. No. He might be late. I don't think Bud Paxson might be his dad or somebody. I don't know. But, the radio industry has blackballed me. And quite frankly, you need me more than ever because radio sucks. Don't Bob and Tom me and Rick and Big Bubba me and John Boy and Billy me. Stop. Who could you bring in L.A. that could make a difference? You can't bring in Joe Rogan because regular radio threw Joe Rogan out. The reason why Joe Rogan just cut a $100 million deal with Spotify and basically said "fong you" to radio is because radio never gave Joe Rogan a chance. You don't think that Joe Rogan would have been just as good as the morning guy on KROQ instead of giving David Lee Roth and Danny Bonaducci and everybody else that CBS tried to shove down everybody's throats after O&A left? After O&A and Howard left, CBS, quite frankly, did some stupid stuff remember they had the alt format, and they threw David Lee Roth, and they had Adam Carolla, and they had all these people that sucked.
What do you think about these?
Radio needs us more than ever. What?
Listen, I agree. Radio, obviously, slowing down
ridiculous
on the backstretch. But I mean, what about these radios franchises that hold on to their morning shows for way too long? They're way past their prime. They mail it in, and then they get rid of them, and it's this whole big thing like, oh, you got rid of the franchise that's been here 30 years. I mean, yeah, we can sit here and talk until we're 70 years old, but I mean, not everybody's on top of their game and gets to play forever. And I think radio just became very complacent. It just goes, oh, hey, these guys have been here forever. People like them. And I'm not just talking about Kevin and Bean, but anybody. All these guys that suck up big salaries.
But now radio is afraid to be controversial and funny anymore. Radio is so afraid and snowflaked out that God forbid you put Bubba the Love Sponge on, who's been in a little bit of trouble, who's a little bit of a bad guy, who people find very polarizing. God forbid you get a few, internet faceless anonymous trolls that, talk to a few of your advertisers about Bubba the Love Sponge, who at the end of the day, it's just my competition, who knows that that's the troll game you got to play. KROQ and every other radio station, tell me right now, you guys know radio. Blitz, Seth, Caveman, the Bob and Toms, the Woody Show, the Rovers, the Kid Chris's, the Lex and Terry's, the Eric Mancow. You know these male the Free Beer and Hot Wings, the Mike Calta Show. These shows that you plug in to rock, FM talk, or alternative stations that these big companies syndicate throughout. And there's not a one of them. And Seth, you're the most critical of radio, and you are too, Blitz. You're very negative. There's not a one of them that has our dynamic. Seth, you've worked on those shows, and now you feel you experience our dynamic and our listeners and our cult-like following and how good or how bad our show is. And there's nobody that you could put into LA that could make a difference and get the town talking, except us.
Is that where I jump in? Sorry.
Yeah, that's where you jump in. You give me your snowflaked out opinion.
Isn't LA just, it's a different market though. It's just, I don't know.
It's still the entertainment mecca. It's still liberal. It's still free thinking. It's still, if you're going to have a controversial show, you have to have it in one or two places, LA or New York.
Okay.
That's where people are wired for controversial stuff.
I will say this. The guy that is doing the show now, I believe it's Stryker and Klein.
Yes.
Stryker's been a music guy his whole career. I think he even did Loveline. Klein was the guy that hired me to do mornings with him in San Diego, and he got fired for making the suicide bridge joke out in San Diego.
And neither one of those are Bubba the Love Sponge now.
They're not, but
not even close to me.
They're not, but I Klein's very, very talented. I was going to leave everything behind in Tampa to go work with him. So I think he's a talented dude, but I mean, they have a tough task. They're following a morning show that was on for, how many years? And they've had to cancel some of their concerts now because of the coronavirus. So yeah, I mean it's tough.
And they're in California. California's going to be shut for the next 25 years.
And this KROQ. Now radio stations don't hire controversial, good talent that could possibly get great ratings. They don't hire anybody because their radio station is just a big pipeline for their NTR year-end concert series that they go, and that's how they pay for everything. Is everything funnels into your next big thing concert. That's your big promotion. You're a radio station that doesn't really want to put good talent on. You're a radio station that wants to put on a concert.
Well, I mean, that 97X realized that when they blew everybody out. When I was with Drew and Danielle and Fisher was there and they fired everybody, and they realized that why do they need to pay any personalities when it's all about the music and the concerts?
Yeah,
it just took them a while.
And that's what radio has become. Radio has become about music and concerts. Tell me who the morning guy in 98 Rock in Tampa is, but I'll tell you that they're bringing back their concert series.
Seven Dust?
No, they bring back like the livestock concept where they do their concert every year. What is it called? The 98 Rock Fest?
Oh, I'm
the
not.
station just supports.
Yeah.
The 98 Rock is just the support mechanism of their NTR concert series. I can't tell you any. Can anybody tell me any major personalities in any radio city? Tell me who, back in the day you could say, well, Howard Stern and this and that. You can't.
BJ Shea. I like Billy Madison.
BJ Shea's show is very unique. There's no other show like it anywhere.
I've never heard it. I've just met him at a bunch of radio conventions.
So I'm just telling you, KROQ. You
Did he introduce himself and go, yo, how you doing, cuzzy? My name is BJ Shea.
No, is that how he talks?
No, he's a complete ripoff of.
Oh, is he?
I've
I've never heard his show. He just whenever I saw him at the morning show conventions when I first started on the radio like 20 years ago, it was very like he was telling everybody about what man radio is, and he was very proud that his women numbers were like 0.0, and he's like, I don't want any women listening to my station. So
because that used to be Bubba's gimmick.
Are you getting mad, Bubba?
No,
Sorry.
not at all. I just shake my head, say all I want to be is a Joe Rogan testicle and or butthole. I just want to get out of radio. There are no more Lynn Martins and John Cracciolas and Bruce Midoris and John Pools. I don't have enough of these, smaller station owners that believe in talent and give,
You're more
Shannon Burke and Bubba the Love Sponge and Ed Till a chance.
You're more out of radio than anybody else is, and you're doing great.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
You're doing okay.
So maybe I need to say not even. You know what? Screw you, KROQ. We are the number one show in the number one radio show in the world on Twitch. And we're paying our bills with that. And we got a lot of bills. Have you seen our facility? We're about ready to have a goddamn gargoyle on top of our building. We're getting ready to put a 14-foot gargoyle on top of our own studios that shoots out smoke with red eyes.
And Bubba, you tell me, by the way, how the hell are you going to get on KROQ and play 8 songs an hour, Chili Peppers, Green Day, Silver Sun Pickups? You wouldn't do that.
No, I'm not.
And they would lock you into 6 to 8 songs an hour.
No, they're not. That's why I'm not going to be on KROQ. Cancel the idea.
More of the Bubba Radio Network after this.
I typed in the funniest radio shows on the air right now on Google.
Who are those guys?